Hello everyone. Well, in this blue light hotspot, we're going to be focusing on Venezuela. So I don't know about you, but honestly, I didn't know much about Venezuela. And after I tuned in intuitively, and when I then started to kind of do some research, I was really surprised that I didn't really know the struggles of Venezuela. So there's a lot of beauty, there's a lot of struggles, there's a lot of collapsing, there's a lot of building, and there is a whole lot of blue light. So if you are new to my YouTube channel, my name is Nancy Rebecca. I am a registered nurse. However, I retired almost, goodness, now 1998, so it was a long time ago that I retired as a nurse to focus on the health of the human energy field. And over this time of 20, 30 years of really trying to understand the different frequencies that were coming in, I started to realize how kind of sometimes destructive what we carry on the inside can be to the human energy field, which can lead to imbalances at the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. But then over the last 10 years, I've really been shown by Spirit how the frequencies in our outer environment can really impact us, our energy field on the inside as well. So that's what kind of led me to talking about the blue frequency when the blue star beings came through that wanted to really share about those celestial influences, which has led me to start creating these blue light hotspots once a week. And today the feature is going to be on Venezuela. So how do I do this? Well, once the information comes through that Venezuela will be the next area that we're going to focus on, then I go into meditation and I intuitively tap in. And there are 4 levels that I like to tune into, which the first level is the intuitive feeling, the second level, intuitive hearing, intuitive seeing, and intuitive knowing. So those are the 4 levels that I tune into. Then once I get that information, then I do a Google search. But I usually ask for the intuitive archaeologist out there because I don't always get all the information. Humanity is like, a 7 billion puzzle piece where each of you has great value in what you contribute. And so whatever you're coming up with, go ahead and share that in the comments section. So let me talk about Venezuela. Even when I say it, it's like I can feel it in my heart at a really deep level. So, excuse me, the very first words I hear is, "We are the mighty ones." So on my piece of paper, I typed that out in capital letters. "We are the mighty ones." And it was just like this whisper, but not a whisper. We are the mighty ones. And then I get this sense of a red hot volcanic eruption, which felt so hot and so volatile that I actually thought they must have a volcano, which I learned later they do not. But when I went to tune in, what came through was red hot fire, volcanic eruption, and then I heard counterculture. So counterculture is, how I define it, is anything that kind of goes against the culture of Venezuela. So then when I tuned in even more intuitively, it was the counterculture that's going against, which has to do with politics, economy, banking, and corruption. So all of those things are going against that kind of beautiful, heartfelt culture of Venezuela. Almost like it's really trying to break it down, but from what I'm picking up about Venezuela, yep, they're not going down without a fight, and they're not going down at all. So then when I did look it up, I will tell you that I did find that they can have these, they have a lot of coal in the country, they have a lot of minerals in the country, and as a matter of fact, they used to have an enormous agricultural way that brought money into the country through agriculture, through coffee beans, and now they are the 5th largest supplier of oil in the world. And so that coal can catch fire. You can have these smoldering fires underneath that are almost like hot lava in the ground, can really raise the temperatures of the earth in some places in Venezuela. So then I tapped in a little bit more. Many of you have heard me kind of talk about the tapestry of frequencies, and that each kind of country or that land mass area will have a certain frequency of weaved together to create this kind of tapestry of how that particular culture, that country will express. So the first thing is I sense a wedding and marriage. And so I'm like, wedding and marriage. And then I hear a marriage made in heaven. Potency is spilling outside of its container. So I'm shown this like a goblet glass of, excuse me, it's not glass, but it is made of some type of metal. And it is trying to contain the power of Venezuela in this little goblet, but that it's spilling outside the goblet. And the information that's coming through for Venezuelans, it's like, nope, we're not going to be contained. So there is this sense of, again, the government, the counterculture is trying to contain the heart of Venezuela, and it is not containable. Then I hear there's a powerful river of life. My question mark, is it diverted? The land. And so when I looked it up later, I found out that there is this enormous river. I will talk about it here a little bit more, but that there's a broadening of the area where it creates this amazing kind of filtering system that goes through the land there that can really create this incredible pure water flow. I was also told that the entrance to that river comes in from another country, and then I was shown that it's Brazil. So that river starts in Brazil, and then it's one of the largest rivers, and it flows through Venezuela. So then, and I'm wondering, where I was left wondering is that this powerful river of life, is it being diverted? And I didn't get any clear information on that. So I would love to hear from any of you who may know. The land of healers. Now, when I was hearing this, the land of healers, it was like an enormous number of healers in that country. And I have to tell you, in all the times that I've been doing these blue light hotspots, this is the largest amount of kind of healing frequency that I have felt. So there are a lot of healers in Venezuela that are really raising the healing frequency, bound and determined to heal that entire country and wherever it may be broken, or that kind of counterculture that I talked about. Land of healers. And then this came through from Spirit, a potent female power underneath, a giant female power, and yet there's a boot on her neck. It's like a big kind of military boot on her neck. And then I hear, not for long, they said. So visually, when I see a river, broad, wide, and then my question mark, was it created by a dam? And again, I'm being shown that the beginnings of the river came from Brazil, and it looked like wide and broad, but it's more of a natural way that the river filters into this beautiful crystal clear water. So then, in capital letters again, I said healers, a country of powerful healers. There is a goddess energy frequency, and this goddess frequency works with the energy of blue, the frequency of blue, and it is palpable. Even if you just are sitting in the comfort of your own home wherever you are sitting in the world, if you just let yourself kind of tune into Venezuela, you're going to feel this really powerful female essence that's coming through, this palpable healing blue. Then what comes through is I'm hearing that there is an elixir, that there's, I'm hearing it's kind of like this famous elixir that everybody drinks and that it has healing properties to it. And so it looks like it's some type of drink that everybody in Venezuela drinks, or they drink on a regular basis. And again, I keep hearing that it has healing qualities to it. I could not locate this, whatever this healing elixir is. However, there is this other kind of drink that apparently is quite famous in Venezuela, that yes, that Venezuelans drink a lot, but I got the impression that it was more like a malted cocoa milky kind of drink. So is this, so if anybody from Venezuela, if you can shout out, put in the comments section, is this a healing drink, or is it just an enjoyable drink? Like here, I'm from Tacoma, Washington, and Seattle is where Starbucks was born. And so maybe some people do feel like Starbucks coffee is very healing for them in the morning, but is it really healing? So anyway, I'm looking forward to reading what this kind of healing elixir is that I'm hearing Spirit talk about. Then I hear that Venezuela is highly spiritual, holding the light. And then I get there's a strong Arcturian starseed quality to the country. It's very strong. It's very palpable. So again, I said it's the 5th exporter of oil. So this is what I found out about Venezuela that I was surprised about. Extremely poor medical systems. Even, get this. So I read this on Google. It doesn't mean it's accurate, but as a nurse, it surprised me. To purchase medicine from other countries, so they don't have any medicine available to them. And so if you get sick, like cancer, or you get pneumonia, you get sick like that, the country is so kind of decimated in the medical system that even to purchase medicine, they have to get approval from the government, and usually the government says no. I'm like, what? So it's like, can you imagine needing an aspirin for a headache or a Tylenol or something for a headache? And it's like you've got to write a letter to your government or go to the government officials to get permission to get this medicine flown in from another country, or receive a package of this medicine, and being told, nope, you don't have permission. We are so naive here in the United States for sure. But this is the thing. Because it's so collapsed in their governmental systems, in the medical system, that Venezuelans are returning back to faith healers. And they're going to visit a lot of healers. They have a lot of faith healers who are helping to heal all kinds of ailments. So I was able to read an article about a woman who's, I think her mother died of breast cancer. I think her grandmother died of breast cancer. She had breast cancer, and they didn't believe in faith healers. But she said by the time she got breast cancer, she didn't want to leave as well and not have anybody available for her children. And so she kind of packed up her kids and hiked up into the mountains where the faith healers were, and they were able to resolve her cancer. And so as I was reading about that, the name Maria Lionza came up, and she is quite well known as a healer. She was also known as a saint, and that she was from the 15th and 16th century. She was very, very popular then. They definitely have a kind of a strong undercurrent of Catholicism. But Maria Lionza was very a part of the indigenous culture, a part of faith healing culture. And so the faith healers really call upon her to bring through the frequencies of healing. And so what that showed me was in Venezuela, what I got was potent healers in the country. There's a lot of healers that are coming through because the Venezuelans may not feel supported by the government agencies and structures that used to be in place. So I invite you to look up on Wikipedia. You'll be able to read a lot about Maria Lyonza. You'll be able to also look up Venezuelan healers, faith healers. You're going to be able to see a lot of videos. You're going to be able to see a lot of pictures about the healers in Venezuela. But to remember that in that country, the faith healers are tapping into, as they call upon Maria Lyonza, they're also talking about these crystal clear waters that are being filtered, and that they are being filtered through the different layers of the earth that are producing these beautiful blue healing waters. The source that it's coming from is the Orinoco River, which is, again, I said it started in Brazil, the Orinoco River. There are also some very sacred river dolphins, very rare. These are on the endangered species list. These are pink dolphins. They are called Araguain dolphins, river dolphins. They are endangered, but they are sacred, and they are known amongst the Venezuelan people as mermaids. So what is this common theme that we are seeing throughout most of the blue light hotspots that have been coming through? A lot about dolphins, whales, and mermaids. They can no longer rely on the systems that existed. And there are other parts in the world where many systems are collapsing. You hear that often where we're talking about in our Western culture, and we still aren't even at that level of collapse like what is happening in Venezuela. But this is what I really love about that kind of that hero story of the Venezuelans really rising to the surface, really taking matters into their own hands. They're not releasing their faith. They're re-embracing their faith, and they're also re-embracing their indigeneity, their ancient culture of healers. So I found that very uplifting to my heart, and will definitely be paying a lot more attention to what is happening in Venezuela. So I hope that you have enjoyed this blue light hotspot, and I would love for you to do your own deep dive, write more about it. I will be watching the comment sections to see what else we can discover as the intuitive archaeologists are all working together. All right, take care, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you on the next blue light hotspot.